Hey folks, this is Shock. We're a little behind schedule today, so we're just going to hop on this motorcycle. This is a Suzuki SV1000, and we're going to be riding it on the freeway, and I'm going to be going through some arguments that you can use in debate, and I'm going to be talking to you about why I left atheism for Christianity. And let's get on. I have the camera here situated in the helmet, so check this out, I'm hands-free. Alrighty, this will be a very long video. It's going to be more like an educational video and a little testimony of mine where I tell you why I left atheism for Christianity. I had attended public school, and state-run public school all my life. When I was very, very young, I went to private school, but then as I got into elementary school, junior high school, I attended public school. And that's where the public schools did their most damage and created an atheist. They made me turn into an atheist. If you're a parent and you could afford it, get your kids out of public school. They're being taught a lot of lies at public school. Get them into a private school. So I'm going to go through let's go through one lie that they used to teach in the school, but the creationist movement, the conservatives and the creationist movement got them to quit saying this lie. So let's talk about that. First of all, let me get in this lane. We're going to be getting on the freeway. It's kind of cold today, believe it or not. They said that we're going to have strong winds today on the freeway. I hope not. But first of all, they used to teach what's called a chemical origin of life in public schools. And what this was, let me give it throttle. This light catches me almost all the time. Not this time. What this was is they would teach as fact, by the way, and let me get on here on the right. My tires aren't warmed up yet, so I'm not going to take this as fast as I usually do. Alright, here we go. But I'll tell you about the chemical origin of life. Let's go, friend. Okay, they used to teach in schools as fact, I couldn't believe it, that there is a chemical origin of life. In other words, they would say that out of the primordial soup that lightning hit. They actually used to teach this in school. Hold on, this guy on my left isn't getting me. That out of the primordial soup that lightning strikes hit the water, and that gave birth to you and I. And then we crawled out of the slime onto the ground, and I don't know where we found a mate to reproduce. I mean, maybe it was just coincidence that the lightning hit the water. And anyways, it was so stupid that even science now has rejected it. And science has totally rejected that chemical origin of life theory. Although right here on YouTube, people still are talking about it as it's fact. But it is broken down. All the different chemical origin of life theories have broken down. In fact, right now, you know, science has no idea how life originated on this planet. Do you know that? As smart as scientists would like you to believe they are, they don't even know. They admit it. They say we do not know how life originated on this planet. Well, one of the things that started causing doubt in my atheism was that, you know, they teach you one thing in schools and it's a lie. I'll give you another example. And so I'll start with the doubts, where I started doubting my atheism. I was being a skeptic about my skepticism. A skeptic. You should be very skeptical about atheism. Yeah, so I think I'm hitting the winds now here. I can feel the strong winds coming towards us. Here's another thing too. You go to Wikipedia and type in age of the Earth. The scientists don't know how the hell old the age of the Earth is. They've changed it like 30 times. They said, oh, it's 6 billion. They said it's a billion. They said it's like around 300 million. They keep changing it, the age of the Earth. They don't even know what the hell. So, they'll change things and call them facts. See, here's the problem I have. If I say, for example, look at this car right here on the right. Okay, this car is a Hyundai. Yeah, it's a Hyundai Sonata, right? I can tell it's an older model one because the newer ones are different. But let's say I told you it's a fact that this car here is a Ford Taurus. And then I find out that it's a Hyundai Sonata. Here's the question, my buckaroos. Was it a fact that this was a Ford Taurus? No, it was never a Ford Taurus, so let's keep going. It was not a fact. Well, why is it when I'm debating atheists, I'll point this fact out to them that science gets it wrong on so many levels, and just admit, we got to be honest and admit that science makes a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. And so I've debated over 50 atheists. If you click below this video, I'll put some links to some audios of debates I've done with atheists. You can hear me really honing them. So I've asked atheists too, I said, do you believe it was a fact? Was it a fact when they were teaching the primordial soup theory? See, because the atheist evolutionist has to say, well, no, they got it wrong. But they're so dogmatic about evolution, they're not willing to admit it, right? So they'll say, yeah, that was a fact. I go, well, even evolutionists now are admitting that it wasn't true. And I asked the evolutionists, was that still a fact? And they'll say, yes, it was still a fact. Facts change with new evidence, they'll say. No, that's not true. A fact is something that is true and accurate and correct. If a fact was an error, then it's not really a fact. It's an error. You messed up. See, I think this is why evolutionists are so messed up, why they don't understand that evolution's just a farce. It's a fairy tale for adults. Because in their minds, facts can be wrong and they're still facts. It's unbelievable. Okay, so I got pretty upset when I found out that I was being lied to, actually indoctrinated in public school. And that's what, if you're a parent, you know as well as I do, that's what your kids are in public school for, to be indoctrinated. Hold on a second. The state-run government schools, they're basically indoctrination centers. Okay, let's get over here. Okay, so I started getting upset, like, I can't believe that my teachers lied to me. Now, I'm not really as upset at the teachers as I am the indoctrination system of the public schools, because the teachers were forced to teach that. And God bless the teachers. I've had teachers say that they don't even believe in evolution. There's no proof and evidence for it. But they have to teach it. They're mandated to teach this phony baloney evolution by the state, or they lose their funding. See, you're forcing the teachers to indoctrinate the kids, their minds full of mush. So, by the way, speaking of Ford Taurus, remember I told you about that Hyundai? See, this is the Ford Taurus. Very nice vehicle. Check this out. They're expensive though for being a Ford Taurus. So let's talk to you about how I lost my faith in atheism, and it all started when I started studying evolution and realized that I was lied to. I am a Christian creationist now, but let me tell you about some more lies. You guys should really read Barrow and Tipler. They have a book called The Anthropic Cosmological Principle. And I'm switching another freeway, so we're going to go slow here for about 60 seconds. But in this book, these guys, these scientists, they, hold on a second, they're two physicists. What they do is they analyze evolution with brutal honesty. And they say there's at least 10 things that have to happen if evolution were to be true. Hold on, I'm downshifting. For example, like the development of our eye, you know, our eyeball, the development of our inner skeleton, so forth and so on. They said there's 10 things that would have to happen, each of which, listen close guys, each of which is so improbable, which means if it probably didn't happen at all. Look up the definition, improbable. They said each of which, at least 10 things, each of which are so improbable to occur that because the time that it would take for it to occur, the sun up here in the sky would have already ceased to be a main sequence star and would have incinerated the earth already. That's how much time they're saying, if evolution were true, how much time it would take. But it can't be true. They said those 10 things take so long that the sun would have already ceased to be a main sequence star and would have already burned up the earth. But yet I'm still here riding the motorcycle. Evolution's not true. Hold on a second. Gotta itch my eye. Another thing too that got me to believe that evolution and atheism, they're guilty of what I call chance of the gaps. Everything is chance to them. They're guilty of chance of the gaps. See, they don't want to say it's intelligent design, that it's God, because if you're bigoted or prejudiced towards God, you're not going to want to say the more plausible answer for creation is intelligent design if you're a bigot or you're prejudiced towards God. But if you're not bigoted or prejudiced towards God, clearly the more plausible explanation is intelligent design. Let's talk about Frank Tipler. Remember I was talking about DNA. Anyone that looks at DNA, unless you're guilty of chance of the gaps, would clearly say that DNA is the product of intelligent design. Remember Frank Tipler, Francis Crick, he's the co-discoverer of DNA. He also was saying that evolution on this planet is so improbable, it would almost have to be a miracle. And he says he doesn't believe that evolution occurred on this planet. He said it had to come from somewhere else. He said himself life had to come from somewhere else, like maybe on meteorites or something like that. So you got Francis Crick saying that evolution is so probable that it's almost a miracle. But here's the biggest problem for evolution atheists, and this is a major reason why people are rejecting atheism in droves. You know, over 300 atheists are leaving atheism per day worldwide right now. It's actually shrinking. Here you got Christianity growing, exploding in China and Africa, and those are few huge populations there. And you got atheism shrinking. Well, the reason why is there's no proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. Check out DNA. DNA is information. The only way you can say DNA is not the product of intelligent design is if one is bigoted or prejudiced towards God, or you're guilty of chance of the gap. Look, folks, you know gravity, the atheist evolutionist, the atheist, would say that gravity is here on this planet just by dumb luck or chance. It's all chance. The sun is the proper distance from the earth, because as you know, if it was a bit closer, we would all fry. If it was a bit further away, we'd all freeze and we'd be like uninhabitable. They say it's all chance. It's chance of the gap. That I am designed with hands and feet that can operate this motorcycle, and I have free will. If I want to go to the right, check this out, I can choose to go to the right. If I want to go to the left, I can choose to go to the left. If I go to the left again, I can go left again. But that's not what atheists say. They say, no, we don't have free will. There's no such thing as a mind. Your brain just tells you what to do. They want you to believe you're just a zombie to your brain. And that your brain is the product of, you guessed it, chance of the gap. Doesn't anyone understand how stupid atheism is? It's so stupid. I feel sorry for folks that can't escape it. But if you're bigoted and prejudiced towards God, that's going to keep you in atheism. And you're willing to deny all type of reality to be an atheist. It takes more faith to be an atheist than it does to be a Christian. Now let's talk about some positive reasons why I'm a Christian. And I'm a Christian, I'm going to give you 3 words: proof and evidence. I'm a Christian because of the proof and evidence. You know, I asked atheists all over YouTube to provide proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. And all they could bring up was Santa Claus and the spaghetti monster. Now that's great when you're 12 years old, but when you want to be an intellectual or you want to be an adult, Santa Claus and spaghetti monster is not really going to win you many converts to your non-intellectual position. So I'm a Christian because of proof and evidence. Let's get over here. Let's talk about the cosmological argument. Okay, guys? Here's how that goes. A lot of you heard this, but I want to put it all in one video. The cosmological argument goes like this. It's about the universe, the cosmos. Whatever begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. Now, it used to be that atheists said the universe was like God. It was just eternal. But now modern science, in the year 2011, 2012, look at this paper floating right here, see it? Now modern science has proven that the universe had a beginning, and this is a problem for atheists, because there was no matter, there was no energy. Even time itself came into existence. Jesus, guys, like going over into my lane. So, when I say there was nothing prior to the creation of the universe, there was no natural materials. I mean nothing, no matter, no energy. Well, how could you say the universe created itself out of nothing? It is obviously more plausible that a supernatural force, something that is not made of natural materials, created the universe. Because whatever created the universe had to be uncaused. Because you can't have an infinite regress. Why?
Well, we know science has shown that the universe is not eternal. So this is a huge chicken and egg dilemma. You know, what came first, the chicken or the egg, for atheists. See, they want to say the universe created itself, but it wasn't there to create itself. And nothing has zero power. Nothing cannot create anything. So atheism, their view that the universe just popped into existence uncaused out of nothing, is less plausible than a creator of the universe. A supernatural creator is less plausible. Why is everyone stopping here? In fact, on atheism, it's worse than magic. I'm hitting a lot of bugs here. Because at least with magic, you've got a magician and you got a hat and you got a rabbit. But on atheism, they don't have anything that's the creator of the universe or the cause. So it's impossible to accept the atheist worldview that the universe just popped into existence uncaused out of nothing. So here's the argument: whatever begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. And the more plausible cause is God, if you're not bigoted or prejudiced towards God. And I know you're not a bigot, right? Okay. Let's go over here where there's no bump. Now, sometimes when I'm talking to a sweet, cuddly, huggable, lovable atheist, they'll say, well, but I don't believe in this type of universe or the Big Bang or whatever. I believe in the multiverse or whatever. The problem is our universe is expanding, so you can't escape the fact that the universe had a beginning. The scientists Borguth and Vilenkin, you should check out their study. It's a very well-respected study, and they said, look, any universe, it doesn't matter what type of universe you're positing, steady state, multiverse, Big Bang, whatever, doesn't matter. Any universe, guys, that's in the process of expanding, and ours clearly is, everyone agrees on that. They said, Borguth and Vilenkin theorem said, any universe that is in the process of expanding must have had a beginning. And I'm going to see if I can remember their quote. They said it is a argument, it is a proof, I should say, that causes unreasonable men to change their position on something. And then they said, with the proof now in place, cosmologists can no longer argue. I'm going up the hill, let me shift to fifth gear. They said cosmologists can no longer argue for a past eternal universe. They said there is no escape. They must accept that the universe has a beginning. So the cosmological argument clearly shows that there is a designer of the universe. Now, a creator. Sometimes I'll get folks and they'll say, well, Shock, why not the other gods? Why not the other gods? And you know what I always say? I go, what gods? What gods? What other gods have shown themselves so powerfully with so much evidence like Jesus Christ, the God of the Bible? What God? So whenever they say to you, well, what about the other gods? Just say, what gods? Show me a God that has supplied more proof and evidence than the Christian God. There's none. All right, let me speed up here. Here we go. Okay, well, my favorite argument, the teleological argument. This is amazing. In order for me just to be riding this motorcycle and breathing, and for all these people to be alive, the universe must have been fine-tuned at the creation of the universe for our existence here on this planet. Here's what's amazing, guys. There's about 50 constants that are extremely fine-tuned, and if I could go and adjust just one of them just a hair's breadth, you could actually destroy life here on this planet. That's how fine-tuned it is. And of course, if you're an atheist, you're going to say, well, it's chance of the gaps. It's always chance of the gaps with these atheists. But any rational person would see that that is the product of intelligent design. I'll give you an example. We know it can't be dumb luck or chance because chance does not have causation. Chance does not create 50 fine-tuned constants. Let's put the hammer down. And there's only 3 plausible choices that you could add to that. You could say the universe is fine-tuned for our existence. Dumb luck or chance. You know, you could use chance of the gaps if you want to use chance of the gaps. But it's not as plausible as design. You could say, well, Shock, there's something in natural law that caused it to be that way. Well, there's not. Scientists have already proven there's nothing in natural law that would make the constants be that way. They're arbitrary. Since the fine-tuning is neither due to chance of the gaps or natural law, it follows logically that it's due to design. I'll give you another example on this fine-tuning. Imagine you have 1 billion white ping pong balls, and there's 1 red ping pong ball mixed in there with the billion. And someone says to you, if you pick the red ping pong ball, you will live, but if you pick the white ping pong ball, any of the billion white balls, you die. And you reach in and you randomly pick out the red ping pong ball. Now, you would be rational to say, wow, that's amazing. You wouldn't be like, well, I don't know why I'm so amazed. I picked out the red ping pong ball, and there's all types of balls in there. I mean, the chances are I should have picked this out. But there's 50 fine-tuned constants, guys. 50 of them. So now let's change the story around. Let's say that you had to reach in and pick out 50 times in a row the red ping pong ball. And let's say you did that 50 times in a row. You would be rational to say, you know what? This is the product of intelligent design. Someone set it up that way that I would pick the red ping pong ball, because how could I pick the red ping pong ball? Hold on a second, downshifting. How could I pick the red ping pong ball 50 times in a row? How could these constants be fine-tuned 50 times in a row, and if just one of them were adjusted, I could adjust one of those constants, I could destroy life here? No, folks. There is no proof that atheism is accurate and correct. But here's something that'll blow your mind. Got a little bit of allergies. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Do you know that in the Bible there's actual prophecies that you can read? And these prophecies have come true. And you could actually, let's see if that light's going to turn. No, you could actually research it. Jesus Christ coming to the earth was a prophecy. In Isaiah, I want you guys to check out Isaiah the suffering servant, which talks about Jesus Christ being pierced and suffering for our sins. Even before Jesus Christ came to the planet in the flesh. Check this out right here on the right, this T-Rex. It talks about Israel being gathered again to herself as a country. And that happened in the 1940s after the war was over and stuff. Hold on a second. After the war was over, after the 1940s, what happened is Israel became a sovereign country to herself, and all the Jews started coming back to Israel. God gathered the Israel, the Jews, back into one nation. And here's what's amazing, that was prophesied, and that has never happened with any other country in history. Look at the people that walk with Jesus Christ. Look at Paul, who saw appearances of Jesus Christ, who was an enemy of Jesus Christ, who was persecuting Christians and flip-flopped because he saw Jesus Christ and he said, I'm going to become a Christian. Now he became a Christian. Look at Peter, who denied that he knew Jesus Christ, and then Jesus Christ dies, comes back to life, God raises him from the dead, and then Peter's willing to get beat up and even thrown in prison for it. So you have so much proof and evidence. You know what Antonin Scalia said? He's on the Supreme Court. I like what he said. He said, are we to believe that these men that walk with Jesus Christ, talk with Jesus Christ, ate with Jesus Christ, they all concocted a lie, all for the sole purpose of being martyred and killed? Doesn't make sense, folks. I believe the proof and evidence is on the side of Christianity. I am no longer an atheist believing in chance of the gaps. I believe in truth. I believe in facts. I believe in proof and evidence. Now, go right below here, shockofgod.net, to the free stuff area. We got some free software and free Bibles for you there, free audio Bibles. And God bless you guys. Have a great week.